Welcome to a safe work community, the Kokkola Industrial Park. Judged by many standards, KIP is an unparalleled success story. The industrial park is home to dozens of enterprises, working together or separately, but a common denominator for all is that we produce quality safely. The aim of this presentation is to introduce the safety instructions and regulations of the Kokkola Industrial Park to all of us moving around in the area, whether working there permanently or temporarily or just visiting. In order to do business at KIP, you need the appropriate permits. Moreover, in order to work at KIP, you must have passed the general safety training and exam. This presentation comprises the following topics: moving about at KIP, working at KIP, environmental protection, fire protection, hazardous substances, operating instructions in case of major accidents, occurrence of damage, and dangerous situations. On the basis of this presentation, you will be able to take the exam on general safety at KIP. Passing the exam will entitle you to move about at KIP and work there. First and foremost, you should memorize the general regulations that apply to all of us. Intoxicating substances are completely banned at KIP. Smoking is only allowed in the designated areas. Filming and photography are subject to a separate permit. The use of mobile phones is banned in premises marked with the prohibitory sign. KIP is a fenced-in area, guarded by an access control system, and the premises are kept under surveillance by recording cameras. Moving about at KIP is subject to a special access permit. For those working in the area, the permit is in the form of an access key, issued personally to each employee. It may not be handed over to others. Supervisors are responsible for ensuring the validity of access permits. Every visitor must have a designated host responsible for the visit. The host must notify the port tower of any visitors. The port tower will then issue a temporary access permit. The host is responsible for ensuring that visitors wear appropriate protective equipment, are familiar with safety issues, and are kept safe throughout the visit. Guided transport for visitors to your meeting place is also available on request. Entry to the area. For people arriving on foot, through the revolving gate. For vehicles and drivers, through the vehicle gate. Each passenger must acknowledge passage using their personal access keys. General traffic regulations apply when moving around in the area, alongside any special instructions issued by gate staff. Cyclists and pedestrians must use pedestrian and cycle routes. For safety reasons, driving permits to the location are only granted in exceptional cases. Parking is permitted in designated marked parking areas only. The speed limit at KIP is 30 km per hour, unless otherwise indicated by a traffic sign. Compliance will be supervised. Please note that various machines, trains, trucks, transporting hazardous chemicals, etc. move about in the area. Please note also that some of the railway level crossings are unmanned. If you move outside marked routes, you must exercise special caution and pay attention to various structures such as pipes, pipe bridges, and other exceptional passageways. Enterprises at KIP have a work permit system in place, and in order to work here, an employee must be qualified. That is, possess the professional skills required for the job, have completed safety training, and be equipped with permits specific to the duty and position, such as a valid occupational safety card, a written work permit issued by the person in charge of the department is the prerequisite for working in various departments. A written hot work permit and a valid hot work card is required from those participating in hot work. A written permit for work on tanks and drums is required for working inside tanks and corresponding enclosed spaces. Permits can be required at KIP for other special work too. For instance, a permit for working on pipe systems or a license for operating a crane. These permits will be specified in connection with the work permit. Detailed specifications for and further information on the aforementioned tasks are included in the Kokkola Industrial Park Safety Guide. A protective helmet must be worn when moving about at KIP. In addition to helmets, workers must wear other protective equipment specific to the location and task. Personal protective equipment must be worn as specified in instructions, guides and safety signs. Eye protectors must be worn at all times at production, unloading and loading sites, and as specified in instructions for use when operating various machines, as well as work and sites designated with special signs. Protective goggles or a face shield must be worn when engaged in tasks requiring extra protection, such as when handling corrosive chemicals or other chemicals dangerous to skin and eyes. Ear protectors must be worn whenever the noise level in the working premises exceeds 85 dB. These areas are indicated with signs. Protective clothing must be suitable to meet the requirements of each task and approved for their purpose. Hands must be protected at all times with protective gloves suitable for the task at hand. Feet must be protected at all times with approved protective footwear suitable for the task. Respiration protectors or breathing masks must be worn whenever handling substances hazardous to health. The customer will provide instructions for using suitable respiration protectors. Protective clothing must be worn when engaged in tasks requiring extra protection. The need for protective clothing can be specified, for instance, in work instructions or the work permit. Prior to commencing with the work, familiarize yourself with the general safety instructions, environmental protection instructions, and fire protection instructions. The person in charge of the site in question will provide each employee with a location-specific induction into safety matters. Ensure your personal safety and do as follows. Always report to the person in charge of the site and inform him or her of your proposed activity on site. The person in charge of the site in question will provide you with a location-specific induction into safety matters. Always ensure that you have the required work permits. Familiarize yourself with safety instructions concerning the area, department and task. Find out about the dangers involved in chemicals used on site and other dangerous factors concerning the workplace. Find out the location of first aid and protective equipment, exits and places of assembly, and the nearest emergency shower. The employer or customer is responsible for the safety of the workplace and working environment. It is completely forbidden to perform any repair, maintenance, cleaning or other such work on machines and equipment when they are running. The safety of the site must be ensured first. The operator of the machine or operating personnel in the department using the machine is responsible for this. You should pay special attention to the following safety instructions. Protection from falls must be in place at all times when working in locations with the slightest danger of falling. Scaffolds and working platforms must be constructed in compliance with regulations, and they must be checked and marked with a scaffold card before use. Prior to working on a scaffold, ensure that it is checked and safe to use. Ladders are intended to provide temporary access only. Rigid ladders must not be used as a working platform. Ladders must be set up so that employees can get a firm grip and support at all times. Carrying loads in your hands must not stop you from having a firm grip of the ladder. Hoisting and haulage always require the use of approved hoists, equipment, and checked lines, chains, steel ropes, etc. Control marking of hoisting equipment complies with the inspection color rotation recommended by the Center for Occupational Safety. The area in question must be isolated if necessary, and guard-mounted in case of a falling load or other similar hazard. Demanding hoisting operations require a written hoisting operation plan. Whenever working in the vicinity of radiation sources, you must ensure that you are operating outside the range of radiation sources, or that such sources are completely closed. Employees have the right to refuse work at all times if the work in question poses a grave danger to their personal life or health and safety, or that of other employees. If you detect a hazard caused by missing safety equipment, prevent the imminent danger and report the matter at once to your supervisor or customer's representative. If there is a risk that the work in question may endanger others moving in the area, the site must be cordoned off. Typical sites requiring isolation include holes, falling goods, and danger of spillage. Conditions at your workplace may change during the work. For the sake of personal safety, everyone is obliged to monitor the work environment on a continuous basis. If an alarm is raised, follow the instructions given. Ensuring order and cleanliness is vital to your work, and everyone is responsible. Keep all goods in order at the locations reserved for them. Extra substances or goods may cause damage or dangerous situations at the worksite and in routes of passage. You should agree with your customer on a safe place to leave your equipment and tools. Companies at KIP produce premium quality products for which cleanliness and product safety are absolutely essential. Ensure, with protection if necessary, that your work does not release any extra materials to the process. Maintaining tidiness of your worksite is part of the job. When the work is done and the working day is over, you should always ensure that the site is cleaned. Passageways are clear. The site remains in a safe condition. The required safety equipment is in place, and your potential safety lock is off. At the end of each day, everyone must take care of personal cleanliness and hygiene. The cleaning of soiled work clothes must be arranged in an appropriate manner. At repair and maintenance sites, the supplier must always inform the customer of work being completed.
PMP-lingolla saatiin meidän kannakointityö valmiiksi ja siitä on.
Weekly inspections of work sites review the general safety and cleanliness of the site and work environment. Inspection procedures are agreed on when signing the contract or in the kick-off meeting for work. Anticipate risks, prevent potential accidents, and inform your supervisor of all defects at once. KIP pays special attention to environmental protection and ensuring sustainable development. All waste generated in the industrial park will be treated and sorted in compliance with agreed instructions. Waste containers are marked with the appropriate signs for each type of waste. Each type of waste must be discarded in the appropriate container. Nothing should be discarded into a container without the appropriate marking. If you are uncertain about the correct place to discard waste, ask for advice. To ensure safety and prevent emissions to the environment, nothing may be poured down the drains at KIP without the appropriate permit. If necessary, ask the customer's representative for instructions. Report any environmental damage or the threat thereof immediately to your supervisor and overseer. Further information is available in the Kokkola Industrial Park Safety Guide. General fire protection at KIP comprises the following equipment and systems. The industrial park has a firefighting crew with access to modern extinguishing, clearing and rescue equipment. First aid extinguishing equipment, consisting of portable fire extinguishers and express fire hydrants. Locations presenting a fire hazard are equipped with automatic fire detectors and extinguishing equipment. Your actions can influence fire safety significantly. Above all, pay attention to the following. Risks caused by flammable and explosive gases are at their highest when hot work and electrical installations are carried out. General order and cleanliness will decrease the risk of fire, as will the removal of fire load generated at work from the locations. Passageways and entrances must be kept clear for the purposes of rescue and fire service operations. Gas containers are kept in carts or stands with the appropriate support. Gas container carts must be placed in designated storage rooms outside working hours. Empty containers must be immediately moved from the worksite to the designated location. All hot work must comply with the hot work supervision plan valid in the area. Whenever hot work is carried out, hot work guarding must be provided. The person granting the hot work permit, the person carrying out the hot work, and the person guarding it must possess a valid hot work permit. Hot work sites must be equipped with the necessary first aid extinguishing tools. The firefighting equipment must be kept at hand, their storage locations marked and kept accessible, and all used fire aid extinguishing equipment must be sent for servicing without delay. Premises in the area are classified as ordinary or ones presenting a risk of fire or explosion. Premises with a risk of explosion are marked with the sign EX. These premises may contain flammable liquids, gases, or explosive dust in such quantities that they pose a constant or incidental risk of ignition. No unauthorized access to the premises. Smoking and open fire are prohibited on the premises. It is prohibited to carry mobile phones in the EX-marked areas. Only special protected non-sparking tools may be used on the premises. In addition, compliance with instructions specified in the work permit regarding equipment and work procedures is compulsory. The safety of the entire area is at stake. If the instructions are not followed, supervisors, customers, overseers, and safety personnel have a right and duty to intervene. If a flaw is observed, the worker may receive a notification, warning, or even be removed from the location for a certain period of time. If the worker receives an oral notification, the flaw should be remedied immediately. Notifications must be reported in the site's shared deviation system. Each notification will remain valid for 6 months. A yellow card is a written warning which may be issued if the worker has received 2 notifications. If the flaw is serious, a yellow card may be issued directly. Each warning will remain valid for 12 months. The related deviations will also be recorded in the location's shared deviation system. 2 yellow cards will result in a red card. This will mean that the worker is banned from working at the location for a certain period of time. The length of the work ban will be determined by the person who issues the red card. Returning to work is only possible after the worker has once again completed the location-specific orientation. In the case of serious offences, a red card may be issued and the worker immediately banned from working in the location. Substances classified as hazardous are used, stored and produced at KIP. These substances may be dangerous in several ways. They may be poisonous but odorless and tasteless, thus hard to detect. They may be flammable substances, causing a risk of fire or explosion. They may be substances that displace oxygen in the space, thus causing danger of asphyxiation. They may be corrosive substances that burn the eyes or skin. They may be oxidizing agents that increase the risk of fire. Leakage or spillage of any of these substances may increase the danger of a major accident. All these substances are used in the industrial area. All areas where these substances are used are classified and clearly marked with EX warning signs. In case of leakage, you must find your way to the nearest meeting place or refuge. The safety guide contains information on chemicals used at KIP, their dangerous characteristics, impacts on health and the environment, and the character of a potential major accident. You should familiarize yourself carefully with this information. In addition, safety data sheets are available on all chemicals used at KIP. In case an accident or damage occurs, the first minutes are crucial as regards consequences. Systematic and immediate action is vital. Rescue people in danger. Call for help. Dial the emergency number 112 and report to the gate. When making an alarm call, state the following: who you are, what has happened, where the accident happened, whether people are in danger or hurt. Do not hang up until given permission to do so. Agree on guidance. Answer questions briefly and accurately. Limit damage. Carry out first aid firefighting. Close all doors and hatches. Turn off any air conditioning. Guide traffic. Warn people of the dangerous area. Guide those coming to help. All accidents and dangerous situations at KIP must be reported immediately to the supervisor in question and the safety organization of the industrial park. The general alarm signal warns the population of imminent danger. When an accident occurs, everyone must follow the instructions of the rescue services. If you hear the signal, get indoors to the place of assembly and stay there. Close all doors, windows, ventilation hatches, and turn off any air conditioning equipment. Listen to instructions on the radio from the rescue services and act accordingly. Avoid using the phone in order to keep lines free. When the danger is over, a steady signal sounds for 1 minute. It indicates that the threat or danger is over. Various plants have department-specific warning signs and signals. Further information will be provided during the work-specific induction. Safety concerns everyone. Finally, a summary of the key duties of all parties concerned. As an employee, ensure that all your access, safety and work permits are up to date. Follow the instructions of the place of work and wear the required personal protective equipment. Attend to order at the workplace and take care of storage of your materials and tools in the agreed manner. Comply with the safety instructions given, and above all, ensure your personal health and safety and those of other employees. If you detect a safety risk, deal with it at once or report it to your supervisor. As a supervisor, it is your duty to ensure that instructions are appropriate and the employees qualified for the job have received the appropriate training and guidance. Check that all employees have the permits and qualifications required for the task at hand and supervise compliance with instructions given. Suppliers and contractors are obliged to comply with the obligations and responsibilities of the agreement. They must comply with legislation and regulations as regards their obligations as employer. They must ensure that all employees are qualified to do the job at hand and that they have completed KIP safety training. Employees must wear the required personal protective equipment. When work is completed, cleaning of the workplace must be carried out and the customer's representative informed immediately of completion of work. When you leave KIP, you must return all access keys received. Have a good and safe day at work.